boys, the new PoE season is almost upon us. I believe just 3 more weeks to go, and apparently Talkative Try has made a giant collaboration video with almost every single PoE content creator about what they want to be added into this game. So I'm very interested to check it out because there are a lot of things that I want to be added in this new patch. But before the reveals are made, let's check what everyone's wish list is.
We are doing it again.
Gonna be interesting for sure.
Poised as the most anticipated patch
Oh,
of Path
Druid,
of
let's
Exile 2
go!
so far. Already 1 whole year into
Everyone
early
is going to be
access.
on it.
0.4,
You already
the
know it.
last of the Druids, is confirmed to bring the Druid class, numerous new
Yeah.
skills, and a substantial update to endgame. Aside from those elements, nothing.
I wonder if the skills will only be Druid related or you literally get like skills for all the classes. That would be dope. That would actually be nice.
Is confirmed, but much is speculated to be included in this approaching PoE 2 patch. And of course, as the developers at Grinding Gear Games are always eager for constructive feedback, I figured I'd reach out to a sizable swath of creators to gather what they think PoE 2 needs
the man himself.
right now. I also posed this question to the Talkative Try community. Their answers to it will be interspersed throughout this video. We're about to begin with Darth Microtransactions thoughts, but remember, take a moment to hit like, write a comment, subscribe to the channel, and turn the bell notifications on. This helps tremendously and lets me know to continue crafting content just like this. Okay? Off to DM.
Pretty simple answer for 0.4. I very much hope that the quantity of time of preparing the map is reduced.
Yes!
You have to get a map,
my God.
boost it up, add the delirious modifiers on. Don't forget, you gotta add the vertebrae. Go watch the guy hop into the thing and take a little jacuzzi real quick. Pick one of the 3 things, take it back, grab the tablets, insert the tablets with the map on the spot that you want to do.
Oh my
It's just
God.
quite a bit of setup. So
literally the best answer right off the gate. And of course, it's Darth Microtransaction, dude. He understands the mind of the players. Truly. I mean, I couldn't say this better myself. Like, this is perfect. Exactly. I have absolutely no idea how they're gonna do that, but if somehow they manage to implement this, it will be huge. Because the time that takes you to make a map is so frustrating. You need to do this every single time too. And it would be just way better if you had any faster way of doing that, for sure.
for me personally, 0.4, since it is in-game focused, I really hope that they are looking at ways to make the actual setting up and preparing of the maps a little bit more streamlined.
Needs a massive
Now let's
overhaul.
hear some thoughts from the creator of Filter Blade, the loot filter you probably use in Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2.
Oh,
I think some of the most enticing.
By the way, based and GigaChad for creating that. That is so helpful. I still think it needs to be like part of the game, but for now, like this guy truly saved us.
Coolest thing to do in ARPGs is take down interesting bosses and get really cool and interesting loot and uniques from them. Unfortunately, this is something where PoE 2 is coming quite a bit short. The interesting bosses like Kulemark, Xesht, Olros, the Arbiter, most of these are not very challenging. They don't drop very interesting and usable uniques. In general, I think in PoE 2, uniques need to go an extra step and become a lot more better, because right now, while the crafting game is becoming better and better, uniques overall are not very interesting and not very enticing. I would like to see that.
So, as a new player, I can't attest to the things that he say, so I would like, if there's any seasoned player watching this video right now, comment if what he's saying is actually true. Because I haven't killed any pinnacle bosses. Unfortunately, the season is about to end, and right now I reached the late game fairly recently. Because again, I just started playing a month ago and I'm pretty slow because I'm doing all of these stuff in between. And also I have a real life job, I know, sucks, good for me. But yeah, I can't attest to those things. So if any seasoned player that have played the endgame can tell me if this is true, like, I'll be happy because I really want to understand more about the game.
Improved a lot.
And now, some words from my friend Dreamcore.
Path of Exile 2's 0.4 update must include the
You notice a trend where PoE content creators either have the longest luscious hair or nothing at all? Or, like, is it just me? I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but, you know, I've noticed that. I don't know why.
Trial of the Ancestors, introduced as the third Ascension trial, And of course, it was meant to be there in patch
Ascension
0.3, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have time for it, so it has to be there in 0.4. And one of the things that this mechanic could include and introduce to Path of Exile 2 is tattoos, something that could spice up the passive tree.
As usual, Dreamcore is right on the money with that analysis.
Sounds cool. I have absolutely no idea what it means because I haven't played PoE 1, but I mean, yeah, for sure. Another Ascendancy would be great. To be honest, I kind of like Chaos Trials. I think they were dope. Trial of the Sekhmet is kind of a... Ooh, it's kind of iffy. I'm not really sure about that. I do hate the trial where you have to just escape, not escape trial, that's actually goated. I really love the escape one. I don't like the level where you have the traps. I forgot how it's called. It's trash. Gauntlet, I believe. It's garbage. It's straight up garbage. I wish they would change that.
Now we're shifting over to the Diablo 2 vet. Off Meta Michael.
Hey guys, Off Meta Michael here. I think GGG needs to focus on keeping the game readable and clean. Get rid of the ground effects, a lot of them. Replace it with interesting ways to kill us with monster attacks. Also, the speed of characters using attacks or movement speed is so outrageously high compared to some other builds. It feels like you shouldn't play anything else. Everyone played Deadeye. Nobody wants to be left behind.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's talking about the Deadeye issue.
So,
yeah.
Figure out what the top end of speed is, bring it down, keep the game readable and clean.
Oh, his name is Off Meta Michael too. Like, that is so fitting. So I play a warrior, and he's absolutely right. I look at Deadeye gameplay, and the first thing I said is, why the hell am I playing a warrior? Because you can see the speed which Deadeye just cleans the entire map. And you think to yourself, damn, I'm playing a warrior and every animation I have just locks me in. And this is not a bad thing. I don't have a problem with being animation lock. Like, slow and heavy hitting is kind of my type of thing. But it just sucks seeing someone doing the same damage as you or even more and attacking like a millionth of a second. Like it kind of sucks. It just makes you feel bad. So I do hope they would kind of change the disparity level between the classes, for sure. But the Deadeye problem has been, as far as I'm aware of, way before I started playing the game. So a lot of people have been complaining. I'm pretty sure they would change that at this point.
I do think that's what I want most. More visual clarity. Now, you might notice compared to the last video for 0.2, I'm yapping a lot less in between the people and their feedback. Let me know in the comments below, do you like just seeing the rapid succession of everybody giving what they think Path of Exile 2 needs?
Yes.
Or do you prefer a little bit of extra input from me? I am reading everything. Okay, Miso, take it away.
What Path of Exile 2 needs in patch 0.4 is very simple. A change to how Rarity works on gear. Whether it be completely removing it from gear or making it so that Rarity does not affect currency drops, we just need a huge overhaul to how Rarity interacts with the way that we play the game, because I am completely sick and tired of having to make characters and putting 150% Rarity on every single character before I can worry about anything else.
He's talking about the stat?
Because it is an absolute night and day difference between a character with 150% rarity and one that even has only 100 rarity or less than that.
Really?
Let's not even talk about 0 rarity, right?
That's something I haven't heard about. That is actually very interesting. I never even thought of that. But again, I'm a newbie. Like, I don't know how to maximize my goals. So this is, once again, very interesting point that I know nothing about. But he sounds like he's right. I mean, obviously the rarity stat, I heard that it was important. I just don't really realize why. I haven't internalized all the factors yet, so I'm not really sure. But, I mean, he speaks so vehemently against it, so I guess he has something. I'm not really sure. Again, tell me in the comments. Like, let me know.
Need to either do 150% positive rarity or go negative rarity. Anybody without rarity is just losing out completely, and I am sick and tired of that, and I want to see that change.
I just knew someone would bring up rarity. All right, we have the first bit of input from the Talkative Tribe community. Sir Edward V says the #1 thing Path of Exile 2 needs right now is performance fixes. Dude is 100% right.
Yes.
Whether it's for PC,
Everyone has been
PS5,
complaining about
Xbox, endgame.
Dude, it's crazy that my PC is worth like 5k, and I mean, I'm chugging, man. Like I'm dealing. Whenever I do a map that is overrun by the abyss, I know that my PC is gonna die. Like, I just know it. I immediately lower the graphic settings because I have to. Right now, I just play on medium, and it's so crazy because you need to realize I easily run this game on max settings. But if I do one map that is overrun by the abyss, my house is on fire. So I literally need to take precautions. It just sucks. At this point, I just play on medium because I really hate just changing the settings all the time. So it just like, it is what it is. I got used to it.
Middle game, even
it sucks,
sometimes in the early game. We need better performance for this game. My PC is a beast and it goes off to the races every time I open any map. And even if I'm using a build with some semblance of clear, I hear the fans just start whirring like no tomorrow. Are you guys ready for an AWU? Turn your volume down. It's Jazzerist time.
The number one thing that the game needs, in my opinion, is something that can come naturally as they develop more the game, but it needs the correct approach.
The Diablo 1 music in the background is
the level that we need it to be in, which is end game content, because it is not only quantity of content, but it is also the way they approach the content. What do I mean? Right now, the Atlas 3 in Path of Exile 2 sucks.
Yeah,
you could say they are going to rework all of these things for 0.4, or that is what we think. Well, then this is the moment to talk about it, so they take this feedback into consideration for 0.4. The Atlas 3 in Path of Exile 1 is vastly superior to Path of Exile 2.
I heard so many people saying it, and as a person who never touched PoE 1 except for like 30 minutes and then quit, I'm really dying to know what the Atlas 3 in PoE 1 looks like, because everyone has been telling me that it is 10 times superior to the version we have in PoE 2. Like, PoE 2 is considered bare bones next to it, and I'm just dying to know why.
In Path of Exile 2, your waystone
Maybe I should try PoE 1
and your tablets matter much more than your Atlas 3, and you don't feel that you have this control over the activities that you can do like you have in Path of Exile 1. I am not even talking about the amount of activities, because I know that the content will come naturally. I am talking how you approach the content. I want to be able to focus on the activities that I want, like you can do in the Atlas 3 in PoE 1. Also, GGG, please delete the well. I don't want to be clicking on the well, dude.
All right, my man Gazzy, what does 0.4 need? I swear
like this
he
guy.
makes a joke about my wife again.
He's lively.
Talking to Try recently asked me what kind of changes do I think PoE 2 needs for 0.4, and my personal opinion is very simple and straightforward. I think that one of the major changes is obviously taking aside the topic of character balance and whatnot. I mean, so we don't have yet another Deadeye League, is actually more about inflation and the rampant devaluation of Exalt. I think that having a proper Divine Orb sync is very, very much needed in Path of Exile 2. I think that the inflation right now and the fact that the Divine Orbs are only a carry trade power is a major issue, especially for casual players. This has been an ongoing topic for a long time in the community, and my opinion is that generating some sort of sync for Divine Orbs would be a solution. In PoE 1, we have the solution of Divine Orb sync through a benchcraft mechanic through the form of metacrafts, which doesn't exist in PoE 2. Instead, we have omens, which are completely player controlled, whether or not the prices on those are going to be for Divine Orbs or more. And I think that's a big issue, and that's my personal take on what PoE 2 needs for 0.4 outside of character balance.
I love Gazzy looking out for the casual player like me. Now let's listen to my Mobalytics bro, Localhole.
Okay, Try.
Okay, Localhole.
I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible, but doing this in 30 seconds is like impossible.
That's all right, man. It's quick enough for me.
limit.
But all right, here goes. So what I think we need in 0.4 is a redistribution of power.
Yeah.
More power from supports.
Okay.
The passive tree, the ascendancy.
I'll stop now.
Create a more deterministic progression for characters that is less reliant on weapons, especially, and items, which is relying on luck or drops and using the most overpowered skills. I'd also like a rebalance of many of the skills and uniques in the game. And then for the end game, a way to theory-craft Atlas strategies and then execute on them and then iterate on them. Probably means a reworked Atlas tree as well. And then the last thing is aspirational endgame content to give you a reason to push your character to those top levels. Currently, I feel like
this guy's lasting way longer than 30 seconds.
I mean, on a lot of skills,
bro, you gotta stop with the cringe jokes. Holy, that actually makes my skin crawl. You truly need to stop that, Chief. But regardless, to whatever this guy says, absolutely 100% facts. It's so crazy because as a new player, I've said the exact same thing as I made the new player in first impression video, right? Where I talked about just how I feel as a new player about the game. Crazy that he talked about that. I said items were way too powerful and you don't really get power from your tree. And that kind of sucks. So complete redistribution of power. Also same for skills, gems, all of that stuff. Completely agree. And yeah, I wish they would do that for sure.
Really just steamrolling a lot of stuff. So have those like tier 17 map type things that really push your character.
You clearly have skills that are way better than others, man.
All the way and
like as a warrior, why in God's name would you use the, you know, the big charge, right? A skill. I forgot how it's called. It was so fun, like the Giga Slam. I mean, it's such a great ability, but you have absolutely no reasons to use it when you can just rolling slam and literally do the same amount of damage in this less amount of time. So it just kind of sucks, right? I mean, you want those things to succeed. And yeah, you just want redistribution of power, right? Like the supercharged slam, what was it called? I forgot. But yeah, it was such a great ability. I enjoyed that through the campaign.
Max your character. That's it. That was a minute. Sorry. I tried my best. Cut what you need. Try. But there you go.
Thanks, Localhole. We're going from one yapper to another. Take it away, Palsteron.
If there was one thing I'd like to change,
oh, you know this guy's a beast in PoE because his room is dark. Like, you know that.
Would be layouts and how they do layouts in general. When they recently removed rare icons, it was fascinating to see because we had the same thing in PoE 1. In Affliction, they had a subclass, like a sub-ascendancy, that gave you rare icons on the minimap, and people liked it. But when it got removed next patch, nobody cared. So why is that not the same in PoE 2 when they did it recently and they removed it? I think it's because the rare icons are not about the loot or anything. Obviously, rare monsters have the most loot, almost all the loot in your map, on top of mechanics. But they also show you how the map is, like, how you can traverse the map. Because if you put the mini-map in the middle of your map, you see exactly where the rares are aligned. You kind of know how it looks. And now we're kind of back in the fog of war again, so to say. And there's good examples of how they do layouts. For example, Augury, which people used to hate in Season 1, but has now become into one of the more structured maps. And you kind of know, okay, there's going to be a stone here, stone there, and the boss is always in the middle. And there's a few RNG layers, but not that much on top. And if they can do that with most maps, then I think that's a win-win for everybody. On top of that, if they want to have huge, epic outdoor layouts, they should maybe put in some landmarks where it's like, oh, this is on this side, so I'll probably have to go to the boss here. Like just stuff that's like knowledge-based. If you've done the map 5 to 10 times, you kind of know what's going on. And even though this has gotten better, I would love for them to do like a complete pass over all of the layouts. I know they've reduce the size of some of them, but I would like them for them to just streamline it in general.
Solid takes as usual from Pal. We're going back to the talk community now. We have someone
like the map layout and stuff, yeah.
By 4. Fix the left side of the skill tree. That's what
left
we want.
Side is
That's what we need. Well, luckily for this guy and everybody who commented in support, we're getting the Druid with this patch. So that means at least the left side, the top left, is going to see some love. I can't promise that the rest of the left side isn't going to see love. I would love to see some of the drawbacks taken away on the existing two-handed weapon skills, some of the other warrior or mace focused passive skills on the tree. I just really hope that Druid comes in decently balanced and it gives some more power to the left-hand side of the tree and opens up a ton of new build possibilities. And who knows?
Like I really want a gladiator.
People high on copium, in my opinion, are right. And we're getting the Templar as well. All the power to the left side of the tree. This next guy probably spun a wheel to give his piece of feedback to Grinding Gear Games.
Hey guys, so there are only 4 things I can really think of that I want in PoE 2 right now, and they're things that I actually expect I will get. So, number one would be new weapons and skills. Ideally, swords. I'm really excited for swords. I can't believe we're almost a year into the release and there are no swords in Path of Exile 2. That's insane. Secondly would be Ascendancy classes. I mean, those come with new classes, so I think we'll be getting that. Third would be more exciting uniques. Now, I know we'll be getting new uniques. I just hope that they are exciting. And then the last thing, which is like such a small thing, but it's important to me, is can we get more uncut skill gem drops during the campaign again? I don't know what happened, but they seem to have disappeared for me.
Okay, I guess he spun the wheel 4 separate times. Now on to one of the mods of the Talkative Tri community, Omega Cybers.
To answer the video's question, I think
you know
the
this
most
guy has rats in the
necessary
ceiling.
addition to PoE 2 in 0.4
He knows what he's talking about.
Be skills to round out existing archetypes, like cold and lightning attacks for maces, or a movement skill option for crossbows.
Thank you for following my directions to the... Look at that. Someone following my directions to a T. Let's go. All right, looks like we got another serial yapper here. It's time for Forum.
Hello, everybody. It's me, the guy in the hat. That guy, if you will. Try has once again asked for my humble opinion on what I think is needed going into 0.4, other than, of course, the Druid, which we know we need. Now, I think 0.3 made some great strides in making the Atlas a lot better. Towers being gone. Yay! Woo! Yep. However, with one hand they gave, and on the other hand they took away. Why did the tier 4 bosses go? Why do bosses now have 14 million health instead of 32 million? Why was the new boss that was added in with just like basically a tier of health that has like 2 million health? We need some top-end challenges, like for these fantastic builds that we can now make. Otherwise, everyone's just going to keep speccing into movement speed. Like, you need the balance. You need that top end back.
This next one is special. We have a guest appearance from Lighty. No, not Ben. The better Lighty. Sorry, Ben.
Hey guys, Matt Lighty here, and my buddy Talkative Try asked me what I thought was missing from Path of Exile 2. Now, I know you're looking at Path of Exile 1's launch screen, but I think it's pretty appropriate because what I think is most wrong and erroneous with the Path of Exile franchise is the microtransactions. Now, you see on screen there is one on the login screen for sale, a sale sign. I think that's just not going to cut it. I mean, PoE 2 is going to cost a lot of money. We're talking billions, trillions of dollars, decades of dedication and work.
Oh, no.
So we're going to have to up this to, I think, something more like this to fully represent and get that real estate in advertising. Really crank that microtransaction, you know? Because only with this amount of funds can we complete and perfect Path of Exile 2.
I don't know what...
I love the fact that people from Blizzard are probably looking at this and they're like, write this down, for sure. You know
I expected, but it wasn't that.
The man's a genius.
Max, talking to Tri community with an actual constructive piece of feedback regarding your game, something we've been waiting for a long time. Bruno L. Figueredo says, controller mouse hybrid, allowing us to change easily between both.
Oh, dude, for some reason I thought he was going to play a controller with his foot and like with a mouse and a keyboard with his hands. I don't know why. I just had to thought. Never mind.
Inside the game. Now this was supposed to come in 0.2, then again in 0.3. It was pushed
that would be
times. I'm hoping we get this in 0.4. It would be an amazing quality of life. I might even start to use controller for mapping just to give it a go. And then when I want to do inventory management, just hopping on over to my keyboard right here on my PC and see how that...
If you play with a controller on a PC, you know, I just don't respect you. That's pretty much all I had to say.
That feels. Lots of people say...
It's a joke, boys. It's a joke. Relax. It's okay.
What's that? I'm getting word that we have a tourism expert about to give his best advice to grind your games for this upcoming patch. Give it to us straight, Cal. No crashing out.
Hey, Trey, so I think the most important thing that has to be fixed going into 0.4 is performance and optimization. I think if you were to poll a lot of community members, the main reason they quit was because of crashes. Once they started experimenting with new builds on their second or third characters, they just started running into so many crashes and just like huge lag in maps with Abyss and Delirium. And even in the early weeks, you know, you're...
Yeah, I haven't spoken about lag, but when I played the campaign, I had so many times that I actually needed to pause the game and wait for the lag to wear off because it was that bad. So I don't know if they fixed it or not, but when I reached the end game, I had no problem whatsoever. So during the campaign only, I had ton of lags. So I'm kind of glad that it's over, but now that I have to do the campaign all over again, I'm really hoping that the lag would be gone, for sure.
Seeing streamers with some of the better end PCs, their computers were just constantly shutting off due to just big crashes and spikes. That is going to be...
It is really unfair towards the regular players with like the mediocre PCs that should be normally able to run this game, because the game looks good, but you know, it's not crazy open world MMO photorealistic. Like, you know what I'm saying, right? It shouldn't run this poorly. It should run way better on an average rig, and nobody should have a problem with this game. So yeah, definitely optimization is king here, for sure. That's something a lot of people are looking forward to this patch.
A huge problem in 0.4 if that repeats. I think the longevity of this league has been pretty good, and it would have been so much better without these performance issues. So above all else, I think just they need to really work on the optimization of this game. We cannot have it be so crash heavy.
Solid, and I think quite similar to this guy.
When I hit endgame in Path of Exile 2, things changed. My frames dropped, my game started crashing, and my performance, well, let's just say things weren't working like they used to. But then my doctor told me about Performax 0.4, the only patch designed to improve optimization and performance in all the...
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry if I'm being like a little bit of an ass here, but this is so cringe. I literally cannot watch this stuff. I hate when people use soundboards. It cringe me out of my damn mind. Maybe it's because I'm such a cynical, like, trash person, but for the love of God, like, don't use soundboards. I hate that fake clapping sound, the fake, like, sounds. It kills me from the inside, brother. No shade to this guy, like, he's great, but I just can't.
For your end game.
I literally cannot.
With Performax 0.4, yes.
No, I'm skipping this. I'm
Side
sorry.
effects may include...
And the award for highest quality submission.
I truly apologize for this. I really am, but I just can't.
Goes to Blazeworks TV. All right, time for a new face on the channel. Let's hear from Lex D.
Hey, Try. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank you for including me on this compilation. It's a genuine pleasure.
Don't mention it.
So this first one is a popular one, and for good reason, in my opinion. But if GGG is dead set on having distilled emotions from Delirium stuff be one of the best ways to juice up endgame maps, then they've got to do something about the visuals and the OST. Because ironically, seeing the same grayscale and hearing the same music every map is actually driving me insane. I think honestly for some solutions they could choose to maybe play some kind of animation at the start of a distilled map. Maybe see all the fog kind of appear, then like absorb into the ground, and then the map just looks as it should, save for the fractured mirrors that those delirium monsters spawn from. Or, and I hope GGG hears this because I think it's the more realistic option that I thought of, maybe have the fog appear in patches across the map where those fractured mirrors are that those monsters come from. And when you kill those groups of delirium monsters, the fog dissipates. And obviously the rest of the map just looks normal as it should, but those patches of fog appear, you know, more frequent enough to let you know that is a delirious map, in my opinion.
That's actually a pretty great suggestion. I love that. But to be honest, man, I love Delirium so much. I think it's a better mechanic. I just love it. It's so fun. I love when you start a Delirium, there are like insane quotes that some ominous entity is telling you. Man, I love this. It sounds so sick.
We're in total agreement there. Delirium fog. I think it needs to go. Returning to the talkative Try community,
but the fog is problematic, yeah, for sure.
DJ XD3 Monix. I'd absolutely adore a Templar-shaped present under the tree this year. You're cooked. It's not happening, man. We all know Diablo 4 needs to drop Diablo 4 needs to drop the Paladin into their game, and then Grinding Your Games needs to one-up that.
Dude, do you really think GGG is looking at Diablo 4 for like a window of, you know, experimentation? No, brother, like, no. They're not looking at Diablo 4 for any release stuff. I mean, maybe with, like, a side eye, sure. I can sort of see that, but, dude, Diablo 4, it's not even on the same level. And I'm gonna play Diablo 4 very soon, so I can, you know, 100% vouch for myself here. But I've seen the gameplay, and it doesn't even compare. Like, it's so bare bones compared to PoE. You know, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm gonna play the game, and eventually I'm gonna decide So, you know what? Let's wait. Right now I'm playing Diablo 1. Expect a video, covering this game, reacting to it, and doing a little bit of commentary on this game very soon.
King Kongor, lay the content creators out.
So, something I really want to see them change in pathofexile 2 is something I wanted to change already since 0.1. The very first time that I've done it. A lot of people do eventually get to this kind of endgame where you really start juicing it to the absolute max. So you're mapping, and you're going to now start adding delirium to your maps.
Yes.
How do you do this? And now imagine that you have a full stash of inventory, because look how many maps I actually have right here. We have a lot of maps, and I have basically prepared most of them. But how do you do that? Let me show you a couple maps real quick. Click, 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 click. Click,
yeah,
click,
it's
click,
super annoying.
Click,
these need to stack.
Click.
These need to
now
stack.
Imagine doing this for a couple hundred maps. So please, in an endgame patch 0.4,
yes,
this has to be made easier. Our wrists are starting to hurt. My fingers are starting to hurt.
Fact.
Please fix this.
Even as someone that doesn't juice, please
so true.
Simplify this process a little bit or reduce the number of clicks.
I mean, these things looks very small, but they are life-changing. Like, literally, this is one of the best quality of life changes they could do for the game. I really hope they would listen and actually implement that. I'm sure they will do this someday, but I really hope it will be soon.
Now it's time for the final inclusion of the Talkative Tribe community here on this video. Canduel Games 9850 says, PoE 2 player playing endgame PoE for the first time, and I finally see that the Atlas tree in PoE 2 needs a ton of work. The dude is correct. Whether you've played Path of Exile 1 or not, it does not matter. You gotta understand that the base Path of Exile 2 Atlas tree just isn't interesting or fun. Like Misushiro has said in the past, you could delete the entire base tree from my game, and I wouldn't notice that it's gone. I think it needs some radical changes.
Really?
I've proposed in the past allowing the Atlas tree to actually terraform your Atlas, changing the terrain types, the maps that you're encountering, the frequency of citadels appearing, random roaming bosses across the Atlas. Really lean into the exploration vibe and allow the Atlas tree to edit that experience.
Yeah, you need to be able to customize your experience. I 100% agree, especially when we have an endless Atlas, which is very void of content and it's just boring. Everything comes from the tablets and, at the map or from the map themselves, which sure is something, but you need way more than that. I'd like consistency. I really hate it when the end game have a lot of empty waypoints where you just kind of throw a map there, do it like really quick just to skip to the more interesting parts. So I would definitely love to be able to customize my experience. That would make the end game 10 times more fun. I agree.
As opposed to the boring stuff it tries to accomplish right now.
I really wish
we know
they would
there's
do
an
that.
endgame rework or revamp coming in 0.4 and the last of the Druids. I hope the Atlas tree is among the things
I can't wait for the reveal.
There we have it. We are 12 days away from 0.4 being revealed. Massive thanks to all the creators who decided to be a part of this
release, so 2 weeks.
And every member of the community that left a comment and contributed to all those other...
Okay, that seems to be the end of the video. Wow. So we're just 2 weeks shy from the reveal, even less than that. That is incredible. Okay, I cannot wait for that day to come. Of course, I'm going to cover the reveal and, show you my first impression of it. But this was such a great video. Yeah, respect. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can watch it for yourself. Give it a like, of course. And subscribe if you haven't already. This guy's actually great. I watched some of his videos by now. And they were all great. So, yeah, I mean, wow. I pretty much said everything that I want to say. I don't think there's anything else I'd like to be added that weren't mentioned here. Clearly, all of these guys know way better than I do. But there were some very interesting takes here, like the map layout and the currency and power distribution. I agree with all of them. So this was a very good video. But yeah, just gonna call it for a day. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.